Hi, my name is Caroline, and in this video I'll show you how to make this fun apron from start to finish. It is fully lined and or reversible. It has a pocket for your smartphone along with 3 pockets along the bottom, and it has a fully adjustable neck strap. Let me show you how the adjustable neck strap works on our apron. We have 2 D-rings attached to the end of one of our neck straps. We pull the other end of our neck strap through both D-rings. Then we open up our D-rings and we slide this end over the first D-ring and underneath the second one, as you can see here. And we'll pull it tight, and now we can adjust it to the length that we need for our adjustable neck strap. Thanks for tuning in today. The materials you'll need for this project include your sewing machine with coordinating thread. I'll be using 3 yards of fabric. 1 yard is my main fabric. The next 1 yard is the coordinating fabric, which will be used for the pockets and the ties. Then for the reverse side of my apron, I'll use approximately 1 yard. Now if you don't want to make a reversible apron, that's fine. You can use muslin or you can use a liner fabric for the other side. And then I'll also use approximately 1 yard of fusible web interfacing as well too. Also for this project, you'll need your basic sewing supplies, including your scissors, pins. I'll be using a rotary cutter and mat. I've got my mat down here, something to measure with. Now to make I'll make a quick pattern for my apron. I'll use some old wrapping paper for that. You also need 2 1-inch D-rings for this project. Now for the neck strap, I'm going to use some sew-in medium weight interfacing. Now if you don't have that, just substitute with 4 inches worth of your lightweight fusible web. For this project I'll also be using a turning kit. If you don't have a turning kit, then a safety pin you can substitute with. If you have pinking shears, now's a good time to get them out. And we'll also be using our iron and ironing board. In this step, we are creating the pattern for our apron. I've rolled out my Christmas wrapping paper, wrong side facing out, and I've squared off the bottom edge of my wrapping paper. Now first I'll measure 32 inches across. That is the adult length of our apron. Next, I create the bottom of our apron. 13.5 inches. Opposite side of our apron is 21 inches. The top of our apron is 6 inches. The arm part of our apron, you have 2 options. The simpler option is to just draw a diagonal line from the 6-inch side to the 21-inch side. Your other option, you can also trace out the armhole if you have another apron. So you have 2 options. If you don't have another apron, I suggest you just draw a straight line, and that'll be the pattern for your apron right here. In this step, we are cutting out the pattern for our apron that we drew in our previous step. And now we have our apron pattern we'll use for this project, and you can reuse over and over again. In this step, we have taken our 2 main fabrics. Now this is one side of the body of our apron, and this is the other side of the body of our apron. We folded each fabric in half. So now we have 4 layers of fabric. We have the folds right here, and we have lined up the middle of our apron pattern with the fold, and we will now pin it down, as you can see here, and then we'll cut around the apron pattern. And that's how easy it is to cut out the main panels of your apron. So as you will see here, it's very important to line up the fold of our apron. We'll take out the pins now with the fold of your fabric. We have 1 main body panel of our apron, and here's the second main body panel of our apron. We have now taken our coordinating fabric and we have cut it to the proper dimensions. For the large pocket, we have cut it to 27 inches by 18 inches. We've also cut lightweight iron-on interfacing to the same dimensions. We've cut a small pocket as well, 10 inches by 8 inches, and we have also cut a matching interfacing to the same dimensions, 10 inches by 8 inches. We've cut 2 tie straps 27 inches by 2 inches each. We've also cut out our neck straps, 4 inches by 11 inches, 4 inches by 17 inches. And we have our sew-in medium weight interfacing, 1 inch by 17 inches and 1 inch by 11 inches. In this step, we're attaching the fusible interfacing of our large pocket. We've got our fabric right side facing down, wrong side facing up. We've got our fusible part facing down. Bit of water to help it stick. Take a small amount of scrap fabric and we'll just iron this down with our iron. Now we have our large pocket cut out and we will fold it lengthwise and we will iron this down in place. And here is our fusible interfacing on the wrong side of our fabric. We'll fold this in half and then iron in place. In this step, we're ironing down our neck strap fabric. We fold it in half lengthwise, and then we open it up, fold it in half lengthwise again, so that the unfinished edges meet in the center here. So essentially, this is a 4-inch strip, and we're ironing down to a 1-inch strip. So we'll repeat that with this second piece. And now we have our neck strap pieces ironed in place. In this step, we have inserted our sew-in interfacing inside of our neck straps and folded it in. And we're going to sew a seam on either long side of our neck straps here. And top stitch all the way down. And we'll repeat this for the longer neck strap. And we have sewn the long edges of our neck strap. Now if you have your pinking shears, now's a great time to get them out. We're going to cut just a little bit off the edge of each of our straps. Now we're going to take our longer strap and place both D-rings into the strap, and then we will zigzag stitch this closed right here. I like to go back and forth a few times just to make sure this is sealed in. Now we have our 2 D-rings stitched in to the long end of our neck strap. Next we'll finish up the short end of our strap. We'll just fold this over slightly. Zigzag stitch this closed here. And now we have our shorter closed end of our neck strap. In this step, we're taking our tie straps and we're folding them over right sides together lengthwise, and we will stitch the short end and one long end. I'll start by stitching the short end closed. In this step, I will turn my tie straps inside out, and I'm going to use a nice little turning kit for this. You take the straw end and push it all the way down to the bottom of your tie strap, and then you take your stick and you push it all the way through, and then you also use the stick to push out the corner, and then you pull out the straw, and then you're left with the stick on the inside of your strap, and then you just push it out. So that's how easy it is to use a turning kit. In this step, I am ironing down my tie straps that I turned inside out in the previous step. In this step, we are top stitching the tie straps, just edge stitching right along the edge just to get it stitched down properly on both long sides of your tie straps. Stitch it along the short end, closed short end here, and then come back around and stitch the other long side. We are sewing one top stitch all the way across the top of each pocket here, and we're just edge stitching right here. Here we have the large pocket, and we will do the same thing. We will top stitch right across the top edge of the large pocket, and we've created a nice top seam here at the top edge of our pockets. In this step, we've taken our small pocket and we are going to fold over approximately 1/2 inch and then iron this down in place in preparation for attaching to the body of our apron. We are folding 3 sides excluding the top edge, which we've already top stitched. In this step, we are going to place our pockets and pin them down. We have our front of our apron. We have our pocket. Now this is going to be a very wide pocket, so what we're going to do is we're going to divide it into 3 pockets. And because it's 27 inches wide, 27 divided by 3 is 9 inches. So we are going to just measure out 9 inches, and we're going to place a pin to mark our spot. And the same goes for the other side. Measure down 9 inches, and we'll just pin this in place. In this step, we are sewing up the small pocket that we pinned down in the previous step, and we're simply just top stitching right along the edge. In this step, we are sewing the dividers for the large pocket that we pinned down in our previous step. We'll just use a regular stitch for this. And we'll repeat this step for the other divider. I'm now switching over to baste stitching. I'm going to stitch all the way around just to get this in place for our next step. So now we've baste stitched all the way around our large pocket, and we'll pull this all together in the next step. In this final step, we are putting it all together. We're ready to place down our neck straps at this point, and we are going to measure about 5/8 of an inch from the edge here. So we're going to pin this in place. So we have all of our cut edges facing one direction here, and we're going to do the same thing, 5/8 of an inch. This is for our 1/2 inch seam allowance, and we're going to pin that in place. Next, we move on to pinning down our tie straps. We use the same 5/8 of an inch distance, and we pin down our tie straps. Now you might want to take an extra pin or 2. Now we've got one side face up. Now we're going to take our reverse fabric, place it good side facing down, wrong side facing up, and we are going to match up all the edges. And now you're going to see why it's so easy to make this apron and make it reversible at the same time. So we've got all our edges matched up, and then we're going to go around and simply just pin all the way around. In this step, we have our apron pinned right sides together. I'm going to start sewing right about here and sew all the way around and leave a large opening. So here is our inside out apron. In the last step, we left a large hole here. You can see we have this inside out right now. Now we are ready to turn our apron, and you'll see the magic as it comes through. Now just be a little bit careful. I have a lot of pins in here because I didn't want to accidentally sew through my ties by accident. So turn this inside out. You'll see this apron just come to life here. Now, next step, we will iron the apron in place. We have just turned our apron inside out. We have ironed this down quite nicely. So this is the side with the pockets, the apron, and then it is a reversible apron. So here's the side without pockets. So, but we'll start right here at the corner, and we're just top stitching, straight stitch, top stitching all the way with about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Alright, and we are done with our brand new reversible apron with pockets. Thanks for watching.